Hello, everybody, and thanks very much for joining this session. I'd like to welcome Olga Mitchell. Olga is a careers advisor at Munster Technological University. Olga's session, Ready Steady Work, will give you an overview of the careers development programme for students registered with the Disability Support Service in the Munster Technological Cork Campus. This programme has an employer partnership involved as well, which is Dell. Olga will go through the content of the project and the goals that they have achieved. As delegates, we'd encourage you to ask some questions, and if you can post those in the questions and answers session, that would be great. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Olga onto the stage. And again, I really appreciate Olga giving her time and sharing with us her project. So thanks a million, Olga. Olga will speak for approximately maybe 20 minutes, and then we'll have some time for questions and answers. Thanks a million. Best of luck, Olga. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Thanks very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Please bear with me a moment. I'm just going to share screen. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all feeling really energized after the wonderful speakers that you've heard over the last day and a half. I'm really, really pleased to be with you here today. And it is my absolute pleasure to be able to present to you an introduction to our very successful Ready Steady Work programme. Before I begin, I would just like to introduce myself. So as Angela said, my name is Olga Mitchell. I'm a career advisor with Munster Technological University in the career service on the Cork Campus. I've only been with the team since January of this year. So it is my absolute pleasure to present to you on behalf of the team who poured their passion and vision into developing this programme titled Ready Steady Work, which is a career development programme for students who are registered with the Disability Service. As we begin, I would like for you to consider the following. This quote is taken from a recent survey completed by Deloitte on behalf of the Business in the Community Ireland programme. A person with a disability is 4.5 times more likely to be unemployed than those in the general population. It's a recent statistic, but it also follows countless of other reports and statistics, which tell us that finding employment for people who have neurodiverse conditions and disabilities is very challenging and difficult than for the normal general population. But we as careers advisors don't need to be told this. We hear it from the students that we meet for mock interview sessions and in our other work during the week. We see it in the students who struggle to articulate themselves, who have difficulty maintaining eye contact, who have poor vocal intonation, or find it difficult to express themselves and tell their own career stories. Perhaps take a moment to think of those students and the struggles that you may have seen. In looking at Ready Steady Work, the Careers Service and Disability Support Service, in looking at the struggles that they had presented to them for students, came together and collaborated and started to develop a programme for careers and personal development. This programme evolved and became Ready Steady Work. And last year, we were joined by Dell Technologies as our employer partner. At the very heart of MTU, there is a strong desire to foster growth and empower all of our students to develop a strong sense of who they are as individuals and an understanding of the strengths that they will bring to any role. In supporting students to transition from student life into the workplace, the aim of the programme is to support students registered with the Disability Support Service to successfully navigate the world of work with an understanding and confidence of the strengths and abilities that they bring. The Ready Steady Work programme starts with a group of 18 students. This small group is intentionally small and ring-fenced for the purpose of facilitating intensive support and also for the comfort of the students, for many of whom larger groups would be very difficult to navigate. The emphasis is put on group interaction for a very good reason. Students who have difficulty understanding social situations and difficulty communicating in group scenarios are encouraged gently to speak in each of the workshops, and the workshops are kept very fun and interactive while also being very informative. In the programme, through this career service, we advertise it on our social media pages. The DSS works through email, and also we talk with academic staff at the start of the semester one to tell them about the programme and encourage them to talk with their students about availing of it. It focuses on students from year 2 up, and it's specifically designed to meet the needs of the students. In working in small groups, it really helps students to develop theory of mind, as students can safely explore the views and opinions of other students in the group while hearing their own opinions and voicing their own opinions. It's lovely to watch that sense of belonging and inclusion within the group as they help each other navigate different social scenarios and situations. The Ready Steady Work programme, workshops and presentations covered by the Career Service are very typical of what you would normally expect from a career developmental programme. But this programme is specifically designed to not only cover topics like CV development and interview preparation, and in looking at CV and interview preparation, we do cover with students the importance of tailoring and having a strong CV. We also have 3 e-learning courses that students can avail of, and it's again part of that self-efficacy part where they're self-enrolling into these courses, and the courses are between 30 minutes and 40 minutes in length, and students can dip in and out of those courses, and they can complete them in their own time. And the e-learning courses cover the areas of LinkedIn, interview preparation, and CVs. One of the more key designed parts of the program is in the area of communication, and specifically workplace communication. And in these scenario-based role plays, students become very energized and they really enjoy them, and there's a great sense of fun because the scenarios are very typical everyday scenarios that you would encounter within the workplace. And we also use case studies and where there's multiple choice options, and students, we say again, really enjoy hearing other people's opinions. They enjoy the discussions and the conversations. They hear others we say what they would choose as an option, and it really helps them to understand the boundaries and the etiquette of working in a professional environment. When we look at the workshops and the presentations completed by Dell are really invested in this program, and they have shown that through their enthusiasm and the amount of time that they will devote to the students. They've provided students with, on the program, they've provided students with individual CV review and feedback, and also mock interviews and feedback. And they have extended this not only to participants on the program, but also to any student registered with the DSS. They also give students, they've given them a presentation on the hiring process in Dell Technology, and that even for me was a really amazing insight into what way they work their hiring process and what they expect from that. The Disability Support Service covers the area of disclosure and accommodations, which are really pertinent areas for any students who is currently with the Disability Support Service. And they have, in those workshops, it opens really nice conversations around how to disclose to employers when to disclose, and to become comfortable talking about not only their disabilities but also their strengths, but having that structured conversation with an employer in a professional environment. In any of the workshops that are covered by the DSS, by Dell, or by the Career Service, there's a key component of celebrating the strengths of each individual. And that is really important, and particularly assisting students to understand, their strengths and building their confidence, to see themselves not, as different, but as a really amazing, strengths-filled student who can offer any employer so much. The Career Service has worked with Dell and also with the Disability Support Service for the past year, and strengthening the partnership with Dell, and in looking to how we can work together with always in mind the steps we need to take for the best student outcomes. We work with students so that they have a good sense of self and understanding of their strengths. The experiential workshops given by ourselves and by Dell, and in the students meeting with Dell and having those mock interviews, are really, really important. And also in working with the DSS and with the students there, they come to know the careers advisors, and also it encourages students to come for more one-to-one intensive work if they want to have that, and we have seen an increase as well in that as well. When the programme is complete, as was last month, we have a closing ceremony. The closing ceremony is a ceremony of celebration, and it can be quite moving. It marks the growth and achievement of all the participants. Students are awarded a digital certificate of completion from the programme, and students who have completed a minimum of 5 units are awarded a digital badge. And looking at our programme outcomes, there is nothing to tell you how successful a programme has been more so than the actual experience and words of the students who've participated. Over the next few slides, we will hear from 2 of our students, Rosha and Lucy, both of whom completed the programme this year. And also we will hear from Dell and their views on the programme. This is Lucy. Lucy completed the programme last month, and when she was asked to give a quote or a testimonial for today's event, she wrote this, and I'll pause for a moment to allow you to read it, but I would just like to draw your awareness and attention to the line that I have in bold. As a graduate going into the workplace, applications and interviews were very daunting to me. When I read this, I was struck by the past tense. So I'll give you a moment to read Lucy's words. Our next student is Rosha. And Rosha, in her quote, speaks about the preparation for the real world and how she would recommend the programme. This is the smiling face of John Power, who was working with us on the Ready Steady Work programme. John is in talent acquisitions in Dell Technologies, and he's a powerful advocate for the programme, as John is very open about his own struggles with dyslexia. And he speaks very openly about the inclusive nature of working in Dell and how that inspires him to support other students coming into the workplace who have neurodiverse conditions. As with any programme, when we review it, we look at the positives and we celebrate them, and we also look for areas for growth. So I've included some of those today. So when we look to positives that we are really, really proud of, we're looking to the confidence and growth in the opportunities are out there for students. So students are hearing from Dell, and it makes them feel that there's not only Dell out there, there are other companies who are interested and invested in inclusion hiring. We had really positive feedback last week at a meeting from Dell on the students' increased confidence. One of their hiring managers spoke about how when she was supporting students with their CV review and then with their interview, that she saw a marked improvement over the months in the confidence and the ability of the student to confidently talk about the strengths and skills that they had. We've seen that more students are coming from the Disability Support Service and accessing one-to-one support in the Career Service. We've seen that students are really, we say students who are in the programme have really enjoyed meeting friends from, from other courses and developing not only friendships, but developing their network and understanding how networking can be. Having Dell on board has greatly assisted with the visibility of the programme, not only to students, but also to staff members and academic staff. In areas for growth, we have found that it is challenging, as with many programs that you'll find at third level, finding the right time so that all the students will have equal opportunity to attend, because sometimes they will have laboratories or they will get caught for time. So we're going to have to work on something there. We're looking at increasing the self-accessible elements for the blended learning programme. And last week at Dell had suggested, which we're again going to take into account, we're going to reduce, rather than having the programme run over 2 semesters, we're going to condense it and keep that momentum up and have the semester one as the programme start and programme completion within that semester. So as a final word, I will just leave you with this quotation from Bob Savage. Bob attended our closing ceremony and he spoke very heartfelt words in his speech to the students, participants who were there, and also to staff. And he spoke about the value that Dell place on diversity of thought and the importance for inclusion within the working environment, not only as a noble social endeavour, but also from the point of view of innovation and diversity of thinking. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Olga. That was excellent. Well done. And you delivered it so well. So I appreciate that. Um, Again, we've some questions and in the chat box as well. There's some nice compliments and congratulating you on such a valuable program and wishing you well with it. So the first question we have here, Olga, is how long did it take to set up the program and how were the students selected to participate?
I'll do my best to answer, Angela. So I suppose the program itself is running from 2017. So I suppose if the person who's asking the question would like more information on that, if they want to email us, I'll leave the email on the slides. If anybody wants to get any more information on as to how it developed. But it's running since 2017. And with regards to how the selection process works, I suppose we've tried to bring all the students that are interested into the program. We're looking again, because I suppose with Dell coming on board, it's become far more interesting to students. So we are going to try and look at what way do we expand, having 2 groups? Do we have some form of process of, talking with students and going through what to expect? That's going to be summer work for us, because I suppose the program is nearly a victim of its own success.
Great, thank you. Again, Sarah mentioned excellent program. Olga, are you planning to continue your partnership with Dell solely? Are you looking for other partners?
Again, we would hope to expand it. This is, I suppose, we could call it a pilot in working with Dell. And I suppose what we want to do is to make sure that this is really, really successful. iron out any of the issues that I was talking about in the very final piece there. And once we have a really solid program, we can look towards expanding. But definitely, I mean, we hear it every day. Companies are interested in the area of inclusion and diversity hiring, and there is, I suppose, you've often heard the untapped workforce out there, and more people are coming out now. Like we had Elon Musk recently, disclosing that he has Asperger's. So we have a population of, who find it difficult, not everybody, but some people find it difficult socially. But, with the right supports and with, the tailored programs, those people who find it difficult can blossom.
Absolutely. Olga, just wondering, how did you go about approaching companies to secure a partner? Did Dell maybe approach yourselves, or did you go after Dell?
To be perfectly honest, Angela, I can't answer that. My wonderful colleague Mary Rose is the powerhouse behind the program, and she would have, to my understanding, would have spoken with Dell, and it developed. I think John Power and Mary Rose came together, and I think that that's where the whole program and and working together in that partnership has come from. But again, if people would like more information on that, if they can email myself or Mary Rose for more information.
Great. And Paula just mentioned there's a great program, Olga, and thanks for sharing. And do you plan to I suppose, in extending the program to more students, or do you feel you?
We would hope so. I mean, look, if I had a magic wand and all the resources in the world, it would be a case of making it bigger and better and having, multiple small groups of students. And, so it really is down to tailoring, assessing the need, assessing the resources, and giving the best that we can to students with what we have.
Okay, great. And did you meet any resistance from anyone or departments? And if you did, how did you maybe overcome it?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, again, some of the other team members may have had. I haven't heard of any resistance. I think that even from working with academic staff, all I'm hearing from is, the students who are well able to communicate. They may not be the most academic students, but they will be the students that will do well in interview. And we all know that not necessarily the brightest engineer may not get the job, but the person who is well able to talk will,
Yeah.
and just, who's somebody who's able to talk about their strengths and their abilities. With regards to resistance from academic staff, all I've ever heard is, can we do more to help the students who struggle in these situations? And I think, that's part of MTU. It's very inclusive, it's very supportive environment. So to be honest, no, I haven't.
That's good. That's good. And do you find there's more uptake in some degree areas than others?
I suppose, look, if we're looking at that, um, from my knowledge, I think that there's predominantly engineering and computer science would be two areas that you would have students from. But there was other courses in there as well. So
Yeah, and just to say there, Olga, Mary Rose has
oh, fair
here
play to her.
on,
I see her.
on the chat. Yes, so Mary Rose confirmed that Dell are on board for next year, and the different areas that came in were, I suppose, business engineering, software, tourism, and marketing. So. But in the chat as well, there's some very complimentary comments and congratulating you on the great initiative and the presentation. So Olga, thanks a million. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. And thanks. And I suppose at this stage, I will end this session. Thanks to Olga. Her timekeeping was